Now we start with the I'm sorry. Now we start with the AFC East, and we start with none other than the Buffalo Bills. This is a team that is lined at 10.5 wins. They had 11 wins last year, and this is a team that's taking a step backwards. I mean, let's take a look at it. They're expected to be favored in 11 games, underdog in 6 of them, and the one way I can see them having success is like running two tight end sets. Because you look at it, this is a team that lost their top receivers in Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, and you're also, I mean, for as good as Josh Allen is, you're dealing with a guy who throws a hell of a lot of picks. He threw 18 picks last season. He's thrown 43 over the last 3 years. Not just the offense either. You look at you can look at the offense and also compare it to they'll face the number one most toughest schedule of defenses. Then you look at the defense. I mean, this team lost the entire starting secondary. They lost their starting center as well. Forgot to mention that. But they'll face the number one most difficult schedule of offenses. So for a brand new secondary together, bad news bears for this team. Lack of offense or less offense than last year, less continuity on the defensive end and offensive end. It's just not a tough schedule. It's not a whole lot to like for this Buffalo Bills team. I would be looking towards under 10.5 with their win total there. And looking at a couple other teams in the division, we'll go over to the Miami Dolphins. And bear with me, let me get there for my written notes. So the Miami Dolphins, they are lined at 9.5 wins this season. And taking a look at last season, they did make it to 11 wins. So expecting maybe a little bit of a drop off from last season. They're expected to be favored in 10 games, underdog in 7. And that's real big for this team because this is a team that has success versus the less than's. Then when they play the good teams, the playoff type teams, they fail. And you look at last season specifically, 1-5 versus playoff teams, and last 2 years, 3-12. And if you look at versus non-playoff teams, I have 7-4. So for some reason I feel like I messed that up. 17-4. That's my mistake. 17-4 versus non-playoff teams. So you see the splits there for this squad, and you look at who they're facing this season. They'll face 10 teams over 500. So that could be a little bit of something to worry about for this Dolphins team. But they did get better. I mean, you have a combination now of Jalen Ramsey and Kendall Fuller in the secondary. Um, Fuller did come over for Washington. That's a really good duo there. You have a deep backfield. You got A Chain, who made a name for himself last season. You got Mostert, and there's another kid, Jalen Wright. So I'm looking for them to continue to have success on the ground. They did have success last year running to the outside. I think that will continue. And another key for this team is you got to keep Tua healthy, and that starts with him just getting the ball out of his hand in a decent time frame. So I think that's imperative for their success, whether it's you know during the game or just long term keeping them healthy. I think that's something they have to do and can do, and they need to improve in the red zone. They're pretty poor, so I am expecting them to do better in those categories. Um, I don't love this team, but I do like them to have more success this season than Buffalo. So seeing their win total at 9.5, I'm leaning towards the over here. They got to 11 last year. I think they can at least get to 10 um in this season. And then we'll keep it moving. Oh, I forgot to mention they lost Christian Wilkins. That's a big loss there. But I still think they'll be okay. Net prep, they're -3. Net rest, they're -1. Don't have the easiest schedule, but another thing to mention for this team is they have an easy start to their schedule. The back end is extremely tough. So it could be a situation where, if you did want to take this team maybe over their win total or um maybe even take this team to win the division, you could get a number to buy back another way. And just kind of thinking out loud there because I mean, start of the season, the Bills, the Jaguars, Seahawks, Titans, Patriots, Colts, Cardinals. I mean, it's pretty soft for that first half. And looking at the end, Green Bay, Jets, Texans, 49ers, Jets, Browns, it gets a little bit tougher. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about the Miami Dolphins. Next, we will move it on over to the New York Jets. Let me get there. New York Jets are lined at 9.5 wins. They're expected to be favored in 14 games and underdogs in 3. Last season, they only got 7 wins. So, I mean, we all know the story of last season. We expect this team to be really, really good. Aaron Rodgers supposed to play. He doesn't even, make it. Can't even make it a couple snaps, a few snaps. So that sucked. If he can be healthy, the team has an extremely high ceiling. They did add Hassan Reddick and Mike Williams. Those are two good ads. Um, Something for last year, the defense was really strong against good competition. And you're looking at who they're playing this year. They got the fourth easiest schedule, and they have the number one easiest schedule to start the year. Um, I like Garrett Wilson. I feel like he's proven himself having back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. And if Mike Williams can stay healthy, that'll be a boost for them as well. This Jets team, -1 net prep, -1 net rest, but it's all going to come down to, health of Aaron Rodgers and health of the team. They do have a situation where they played 3 games in 10 days. I mentioned it in the previous division breakdown, but we haven't seen, any team have that situation in the last 5 years. It's going to be extremely tough, and it's one of the teams who has to deal with it this year. Win total 9.5, over juice to -160. With that juice on there, I just don't feel like I can confidently take that. It's a big red flag, or however you want to say, just a big question mark. It's probably the better way to say it as far as can they stay healthy. I mean, Rodgers is older, um, coming off of that injury. I have question marks, so I want to lean towards over. The price is going to keep me off, and it could be a team. If you like what you see to start the season, maybe you take something live on this New York Jets team. Last but not least, we will go over to the New England Patriots. And Patriots bottom feeder, win total lined at 4.5. This is a team that is not expected to be favored at all this season. 17 games expected to be underdogs. Last season, they had 4 wins. So I'm trying to be somewhat optimistic, or, just trying to be. I'm looking at this team. They were the second most injured team last year, and they still got 4 wins. So if they can just stay healthy, is it that hard to get just one more win here? I feel like you can trust this defense. It's really the offense that's struggling. I do like that Bill O'Brien is gone though. I will mention that. Um, Thinking that they can improve on that side of the ball, on the offensive side of the ball. Rookie quarterback, not really any big expectations here. I feel like they're playing with house money, and 4.5 surprisingly is juiced to the over at -145. With it juiced, I can't take it, but you know, with the schedule help, +3 net prep, +3 net, +4 net rest. Schedule makers are trying to help them out. I just don't know if it's enough. That is the talent. Is the talent enough to get them the wins along with the schedule and all those things? I can't say that I think so. So it's one of those where I have to stay off. If I do love a play, or really like a play, I'll tell you. And I don't really like the New England Patriots total anymore. So looking at the division as a whole, you have the Bills as the favorite to win, +160. Right behind them, the Dolphins at +190, and the Jets right behind them at +200. So it could go any way. Could go any way here. If I was gonna play it, I do not think the Bills should be the favorite. I think they take a big step back. I think they missed their window to go ahead and win. Losing those top receivers, losing entire starting secondary, there's no way I can get with them. I feel like the Dolphins got a little bit better. I feel like they know what they need to do. and that would be the team that I would be putting my money on, that I feel the most confident on, in this division at plus 190. Jets, like I said, too many question marks about injury prone, et cetera, et cetera. But I do love their defense. And if they can stay healthy, they can absolutely win too. So if I'm playing, it's plus 190 for the Miami Dolphins. And best bet, didn't do it for the last video, but for this one I will. You guys know there's no need for me to do a whole lot of promo. You can find all my work at wagertalk.com. You go back to the beginning of 2023, I'm up over 100 units, probably like 105 or something like that. So we're making money, um, putting a lot of work into this NFL season, and I'm hoping that it will pay off at the end. I'm confident. Um, I'm really confident in what I'm seeing and what I'm liking so far. So on that note, we'll go over the best bet for this division. Best bet for me, with the question mark surrounding everybody, is just bet against Buffalo. Under 10.5 wins. I gave you a lot of reasons not to like them. I think they continue to take steps back. Team with the largest dead cap in the NFL. They're paying 61.2 million to players not even on their roster anymore. And I just see them going this way. So 10.5 wins, I think it's a little bit too many. Buffalo Bills under will be my best bet for the AFC East. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button for me, subscribe so you know whenever we're going live. And like I said, you can find all of my work at wagertalk.com. So next, I will drop all of these videos today, and we'll see. We'll go somewhere else in the AFC next.